What's going on, Yacht Squad? This is your boy Yakrates. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 16, episode 4. I misspoke and said y'all will get 5 today. Totally forgot episode 5 is not out yet. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, um, I think I said I might breeze through this. Probably not because I might end up expounding on some points, but it is what it is. Y'all gonna get the good review from your boy. Anyway, so Emily says she's gonna throw a party for Shane passing the bar. So that's pretty much what this episode and some of next episode is gonna be. You have Heather and Jen. They talk about, living in the surgical world because Jen is a surgeon and Heather's husband obviously is a surgeon. And just, trying to uphold a certain amount of beauty. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Heather said she just gets some Botox, but she doesn't really do a whole lot. And she puts her hair in a ponytail a lot, to kind of give, I guess, the simulated facelift, however the hell that works. Jen didn't like how Noella talked to her, and this is, I mean, I see it, but this is one of those where Noella was talking, trying to make a point, and I guess Jen had a conflicting view on whatever the conversation was. I didn't take detailed notes because to me it was very frivolous, but Noella made a little comment of, well, this probably is from the Book of Jen or something like that. But, sometimes let somebody get their complete point out, and there's a way to have a conflicting view without it being considered as a jab. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Heather then brings up, because they're talking about Heather's party, and Heather brings up what happened with her and Shannon. So then we get Noelle and Nicole. Obviously, they're friends. Didn't know that. And this goes to show you that Nicole, and I think I said this, but she was supposed to have been on the show, but was just made a friend, which I wonder why that was. Did she not give enough? Really makes you think, especially with a good chunk of the drama right now, early in the season, revolving around her. And again, they will shoot an entire season with the person and then choose to make them a friend of. Especially if you are a new person and they can literally edit you out. I believe that was, I forget what franchise, but there was one franchise where somebody was supposed to have was shot the entire season, but you never saw that person. Like they clearly just edited that person completely out. So it happens. You have Shannon in her warehouse. It could be a warehouse, but it was a small room, like the size of a bedroom, and that's no shade. It really isn't. But this is her company, Real for Real. I believe this is also attached to the food line that she has because she did debut that on HSN. But in here, it seemed like there's probably some oils, maybe, and then what shirts and all this other stuff. And her boyfriend is helping her. Her daughter Stella is um, helping her as well with logistics and whatnot. But we see in this scene that the most that Shannon provides is just that eye of how things should look when it comes to packaging and labeling. But it doesn't really seem as if she's really truly hands on. So my thing is this really your project or is this something that you've lent your name to? Because if it was me and I'm gonna make sure I know everything was going, because they even had to explain to her, someone who has just become a subscriber, the size box that is needed and what has to go in the box, which that's something that I think she should probably know. And again, absolutely no shade, but with this being somewhat of a small business, even though it's not small because she's on this platform, so it's obviously a little bit bigger, but you should still have an idea of what goes in what box. Anyway, you have, so it's a double date. There's Gina and Travis, Emily and Shane. Um, One thing that was meant that we saw is and excuse me, I'm taking my shoes off, putting my slides on. So if you hear the noise like this, that's just my boot. It's just my boot. Don't get too concerned, y'all. Don't get too. I was just outside. That's all. Came back in the house, just didn't take those off. All right. Anyway, But Shane had made a comment, and if for those who don't know, Shane is a complete and utter a hole. That is what he. And again, I don't have a problem with it because I'm one dude. So like I get his humor. Most people don't, because he had made an off-wall comment, and Emily was just like, "Oh, it's good that you don't take offense to it because one of the first interactions that we got, even though we didn't see it, was Shane pretty much they let Gina tell it a little hostile way of telling her to shut it down because she was too loud because he was trying to put his children to sleep and I guess also asking her to leave. But I guess she now gets his humor. They discuss Nicole versus Emily. They've cleared the air and it was at like a little luncheon. And in the process, Emily invited her to her husband's party, and I feel like Emily pushed to clear the air just because again we're shooting a show. We need you at this particular party because it is an event that is being shot for the show, and I think they probably told her you have to have her there so make it right. Emily brings up Shane's party, and Gina brings up Noella, and is telling them about what happened with Noella. I had I don't know, cause it just feels like Gina, do you even have a storyline this season? And it's the beginning of the season, so again, you never really know, and they never really know unless they come in with an idea of what their storyline is going to be. Excuse me, Shannon. I'm sorry. Emily brings up and with I'm sorry with Gina bringing up Noella, it was the whole divorce thing. Emily wants to talk to Shannon because Shannon apparently said called them untrustworthy and manipulative, and these are two adjectives that she doesn't like. So now we get Shannon, Stella, and they're at Dr. Moon's place. And when I brought up the whole holistic thing last episode with the whole fillers and whatnot, this is why because she's all about the whole holistic thing, and it's just like, but again, if there is holistic fillers, just to let me know because I don't understand. I really don't. I'm just saying some of this seems to be a little weird and contradictory on Shannon's part. Nevertheless, Stella hurt her back in the process of Dr. Moon, trying to figure her out, and because Stella brought up promotion, and he says, okay, well, there's some stress in your liver, which means that you're angry at something. And he's like, it's either your mom or your dad. They both say that it's not the mom. And pretty much the whole thing is she doesn't like where her mother is right now, that her mother's very unhappy, and obviously a lot of this is coming from her divorce with David. And she just wants her mother to be happy, which is cool. So now we get Noella and her mom Nancy. We find out that Nancy initially did not like James, who is her, I want to say soon to be ex-husband, because I don't, well, I'll just say that because we don't know if they've reconciled or whatever. I don't feel like digging into it. I'm going to just watch it as it plays out in the show. But she grew to love him, and whenever there would be issues between James and Noella, Nancy would be behind the scenes texting James, I'm guess either trying to coach him through or trying to figure out what it is to kind of help the relationship since they're married and all that. And it seems that she got married in 2020, so it doesn't now that doesn't mean they weren't together years before, but this is really really new, which really makes me question if they got married in 2020. We're currently at the end, literally the end of 2021. How much would she be liable for in that $5.8 million tax lien? Uh, but Noella thinks that James is still in there. Now Nancy's looking at her like, he ain't. But she gonna let her daughter, figure this thing out. So now you have the women getting ready for the party. You have Nicole and Heather and their respective mates in the vehicle going to the party. And Nicole brings up Noella's divorce to Heather, which I'm just kind of like, again, I don't like this, but I know why she did it. Because she also reveals to her that when they were out, that Noella pretty much said she's a fake, B, and also said, well, she was drinking a lot of this and the third. And I think the purpose of her bringing up the divorce is I know we take the scene. I know they probably captured her calling her a fake B and I was there. So as a friend, let me tell her, but let me also let her know she's going through a divorce. She was distraught. She was drinking a whole lot. And dang that, but this is where we are. Did I even talk about that? I didn't. I straight bypassed that. I'm gonna get back to it in just a second. And that's why she did it. And what I'm talking about, because I don't know how I passed it, I literally skipped over it. But Noella and Nicole, no, I brought it up and then I skipped past it. But they met for a meal because I don't know what time of day it was. And Noella says that the servers threw the papers at her mother, like threw it in her face, which I'm just like, whoo, that would make me feel away. Like, don't get to throwing nothing at my parents. I mean, you can literally just hand it or just put it on the floor, put it on the table. Don't. But that's some disrespectful stuff to sit here and throw it in somebody's face. Lord have mercy. Noella calls her husband, because Nicole's just like, was he answering your phone or whatnot? And he doesn't have her blocked, but he just didn't answer. Noella has a breakdown. You have Nicole trying to keep her from crying, but trying to get her out of there. And it didn't for me. It didn't come from a place of concern. It came from a place of, okay, you're about to cry. This is about to embarrass me. There are people here. Let me get you out of here. And Noelle even says she needs for her friends to be there for her, which is understandable. All right, so now we're at the party. Heather gives a gift to Noella for her support of Max. I said Max was her son. I apologize. That is her daughter. My Beezy. Again, a lot going on. I didn't feel like rewinding it, so my bad, my bad, my bad. And Heather's whole thing is, well, one, this isn't a place for us to have this discussion, but she understood, like, she's probably going through a whole lot. So, and she don't know me. It is what it is. Emily confronts Shannon because Shannon was saying to her, maybe I should probably talk to Heather. And Emily's like, well, I want to talk to you about the words you use to describe us to Heather. Shannon denies it. Emily brings over Heather. And Shannon, her thing is, are we doing this right now? Are we doing this right now? And it's like, well, do you have anything to hide, though? And Heather pretty much doubles down, like, no, you did say they were untrustworthy and that they were manipulative. That's what you said to me. But this is a conversation that obviously wasn't shot. This is, behind the scenes. But hey, just is what it is. Got to keep the ball rolling. And Heather pretty much walks away, and then you have Shannon not only following her but hovering over her, which I'm just like, so you really want this scene to happen at this particular place because you're saying to Emily, "Are we doing this right now?" But you are dead set on having this conversation with Heather, where obviously, again, you're shooting for a show. Y'all could have set up a scene to where y'all could have went out for lunch or something like that and had this discussion, but you want to do it at this particular party. See for your works. You have Heather that talks to Emily. Is like, is there a place where she and I can talk that is away from everybody else? Which I will give that to Heather. Being in class side, where she's like, you want to have a conversation, fine, but what we're not going to do is we're not going to do it in front of everybody. Let's find some place secluded where if this thing does elevate, it's away from everybody else because her party just got destroyed. She's not trying to mess up anybody else's party. Understandable. And Shannon apologized profusely, but then she says, I'm not a gossip. And Shannon is one of those where she's going to give an apology, but try to pack in so much where it should have just been, you know what? I was messed up. I shouldn't have said this. I should have came to you directly. I am wholeheartedly sorry. And that could have just been it. Nothing else to be said. And then Heather pretty much says that, okay, well, I've heard from everybody. I'm hearing from you. Everything isn't adding up. The math isn't mathing. And also, nothing that you say to me is going to change my mind on how I feel, which for that I understand. Because I've had situations in my life where I've said to people, well, there's nothing this person that they can say that's going to make what they did quantifiable. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anyway, because I'm about to get in my feelings and it ain't the point of what we hear. And Heather pretty much says to her, long story short, the next time you come at my family, my husband, or anything like that, you are going to lose more than just a friend. A hell of a lot more. This isn't a threat. This is a promise. I sat back like, if you don't put your pocketbook on the table, Heather, I was like, oh, I want to say something else, but I want it to be monetized. But I'm like, you better put it on the table and let her know. Let her know, no. And this is also one of those where, at the same exact time, if this was to go a legal route, Heather's money stretches a hell of a lot longer than Shannon's. So I believe her. And that is where they're cut off. So that is all that I have for you all. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Again, Happy New Year. It's right around the corner. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. I will see you all in the new year. And if all goes well and I'm not too intoxicated, you should, if not get all 4 episodes of Miami tomorrow, at least 2 or 3. All right, y'all. Peace out.